Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness. Today I want to talk to you all about how fear sometimes keeps us stuck in our tracks. Fear shows up in so many ways. We're going to talk about what it does, how it's keeping you stuck, and how you can finally break free from that. So please join me today. Before we get started, I am Melissa Oatman from melissaoatman.com, and I want to remind you that for the rest of May, you can get in on my new monthly program, Awaken Your Magic, for just $10. For $10, you can try this monthly membership. In it, we have a masterclass each month that's done live through Zoom, where we tackle topics such as building self-confidence, blasting through blocks to money, and also processing healthy emotions. We cover topics that will help you slowly give you the tools to live your absolute best life and to be able to handle it when things are thrown at you that you're not ready for. These tools allow you to handle it with grace and ease so that life becomes so much easier for you and it's not such a struggle. We also do a group card reading each month. If you have ever shown up for my Monday Facebook Live, this is that on steroids, because I will pull as many cards as we need to give you guidance and clarity on any topic you want. It's awesome. We are having so much fun. And again, for the rest of May, you can try it for just $10. And it's a one-time fee. It's not an enrollment, so it's not going to charge you again the next month. You have to re-enroll if you want to stay in the membership. So for $10, which is about 3 cups of Starbucks coffee, probably not even, you can try a program that is going to absolutely shift your entire life in a positive way. So I hope that you will consider joining us because we are having a blast. All right, guys, so on with today's topic. I want to talk to you about fear and how it's keeping you stuck. And I know that we have mentioned this topic before, but we are experiencing a huge shift right now, and many of you might be experiencing some ascension symptoms. Now you might be asking, what is that? If you are going through a spiritual awakening, you may be experiencing these ascension symptoms, which some people describe them as feeling like flu-like symptoms. And so this week, the ascension symptoms that you may actually be experiencing, you may experience a lot of flashbacks and old memories popping up out of nowhere. And this can also be people popping up out of nowhere, like people from your past that you haven't seen in a long time. Your dream life will become very intense. Major clearings will be taking place while you sleep. You may experience dizziness and head pressure, and sometimes the feeling of people call it the elevator feeling. It's that feeling like energy is moving up through your body. And then you may experience moments of heartbreak and grief, only to recover from them quickly and feeling like you're stronger after it. You may feel like you have water in your ears. Your ears may be like clicking and popping. You may have jaw clicking. There's just an overall feeling of unalignment in your jaw. So also trouble swallowing may follow that. So why are these ascension symptoms happening? Because we are being asked to speak our truth and clear away what no longer serves us. And for many of us, and this is why I bring up this idea of why is fear keeping us stuck? For many of us, not speaking our truth absolutely has to do with the fact that we're afraid to not speak our truth. I'm going to give you a couple of examples from people that I know, things that have been happening lately. And this is why I'm bringing this up, because I see it happening in other people's lives, and it's just reminding me that this is what's happening, and some of you may be experiencing this as well. So I know that there's a person who is having conflict with her mom, because her mom isn't treating her as well as she could have. She has siblings, and there is an absolute ranking order with her siblings. And so this friend of mine, she says, I know that my mom doesn't treat me like she does my other siblings. And she said, I never said anything. I've always known it, but I didn't want to say anything. And I just kind of went with it. But now her mom is starting to say things. Well, let me back up. She's sort of started to fall away and not go and visit this parent as often as she used to. Because her logic and reasoning was, well, my mom doesn't care as much for me as she does for my siblings, so why should I make the extra effort to go and to visit? So basically, she's kind of setting a healthy boundary with this parent. And now the parent is coming back and saying to her, you are not making me a priority, and this parent's getting upset. And she said some not so kind things to my friend. And my friend called me and was like, well, what should I do? And this was a thing too for me, because normally I'm the peacekeeper and I try to be a go-between sometimes. And I just decided, I'm like, okay, you can't do that. Don't get involved. So I was there for her and I listened to her and gave her, a little bit of advice, but I decided, okay, I'm not going to be the peacekeeper in this situation. I'm not getting involved. And that is me also learning to set a healthy boundary. So I told her, I said, you just need to speak your truth. And I knew that this is what her lesson was all about, was she needed to speak her truth, because she didn't speak up and say to her mom, hey, you don't treat me the same way that you do my other siblings, and so it isn't fair. And so the fact that you're treating me with less importance is why I stopped making you a priority, because it's me reacting to you. And I said, you just need to have that conversation and be honest, and I'll support you and pray that you find the words that you need to use to have the conversation, but, that's about it. So I know that was a huge lesson for her. So that's something she was going through. Another situation that reminded me that we're all going through this ascension process, if you will, is that I ran into someone that I went to school with. We had graduation that we were working, and so I saw this person, and it reminded me of this person's story. This person stayed in an unhappy marriage for way too long. And then this person actually found someone else that they liked while they were still in this relationship. And, that's not a healthy way to do things. You should obviously end a relationship before you would begin a new one. But it was very obvious that this other person's situation was just painful and not at all it was very toxic. And I know that many of you out there probably can identify with that. But instead of actually getting up the courage to just leave, and I think that this person at the time, the excuse was, oh, my kids. And we hear that a lot. I hear that a lot from people like, oh, I can't leave because of my kids. And the truth is, that's a really terrible excuse. And I don't mean to put anybody down, because I get it, I do. But when you stay in a bad situation, you're also teaching your kids that an unhealthy and toxic relationship is normal. And you don't want that either. And I've seen that time and time again. I divorced my ex so that my kids wouldn't think that kind of a relationship was normal. And then he remarried and treated the other person the same way. And so they learned that anyway. So even in trying my best to teach them the right way, it still didn't happen because their dad was still modeling to them the wrong way. So it's complicated, but never ever use the kids as an excuse, because it's better for them to have happy parents. And in this situation, they definitely were not happy. So this person sort of started a relationship with someone else on the side before ending this, and didn't have the courage to leave, and wounded the person he was with, because he ended up going back to the bad relationship and stayed there for many more years. We're talking 12 or 13 more years. And then finally had the courage. And it was sad because this person missed an opportunity with someone else that they really cared about. And that never even ended up working out because he missed that opportunity by the time he finally decided to take action and to follow his heart and follow his dreams. And that happens to a lot of people. And the reason it happens is because fear takes over and you start thinking about what could happen and the worst case scenarios. And the thing is, if you're an overthinker, the worst case scenarios will be horrible. You'll scare yourself to death. And they will be things that probably never even end up happening. But unfortunately, we don't realize that. We don't realize that our minds are very powerful things. Your mind is super, super active and imaginative, and it is actually wired to be negative. So it's going to focus on all of the ways you could possibly fail. And it's up to you to make the decision and to make the choice to shift your mindset so you're not focusing on what could go wrong, but instead focusing on all of the ways that it could go right. I just had a conversation the other day with a friend of mine, and we were talking about visualization, how powerful it is, which is why a lot of very highly successful people use vision boards, because they know that you need that visual reminder in front of you to focus on the good, the things you want to see, not the things you don't. Because your brain will automatically go and focus on all of the things you don't want to have happen in your life. And then without realizing it, you end up manifesting a lot of that negativity because it's what you focused on. Whereas if you could have something in front of you that was a visual reminder of, hey, this is what could happen if I actually dared to dream and realized that I was worthy and deserving of amazing things, this is what could happen. If you had kept that picture in front of you and focused on all of the good stuff, the good things would come in. And for my one friend, I know that this person was very negative. And so this person probably focused on everything that could go wrong instead of choosing to focus on, if I take the risk, if I take a leap of faith, if I go after my heart's desire, if I do what I want to do, things could work out beautifully. Does it mean that everything's going to work out exactly the way you thought? No. We can't always know exactly what's going to happen. But as I tell my clients, if you trust that the universe is working behind the scenes on your behalf, and that the universe is going to bring you what's for your highest good, that most of the time it's divine timing that we're waiting on. If you trust that the universe wants to bring you all the good things and wants things to work out for you, then you don't have any reason to fear. I told another client the other day, because this person in the reading, it came up that, this client was probably supposed to let go of a toxic partner. And I could physically feel the emotion that was coming up with it. It was like anxiety and fear and sadness and all of these things all rolled into one, which is totally understandable because relationships definitely bring about all of those types of emotions. But I said to this client, I said, here's the thing. It's not necessarily going to be easy for you to let go of this toxic partner, but this person's bringing you down and not giving you what you deserve. And the longer you hold on to this person, you are taking up space for someone who could come along that would treat you so much better, and you would be so much happier. If we could actually see the future and see into the future of what's going to happen in our lives, we would never hold on so tightly to a lot of the things we hold on to, because we would realize that there's something better ahead. And as I told her, the universe will never, ever take something away from you that it won't replace with something better. So we don't need to hold on with such tight grips to things that aren't serving us, whether it's a relationship, a job, where we live, a home, whatever it is. Many of us are holding on to things that aren't serving us. It might even be toxic habits like procrastination, or I don't know, maybe you have addictions. I don't know what it is. But right now we're being asked to let go of the things that aren't serving us. And part of it is because there's so much better coming in for us. And if we would just dare to dream, dare to take the risk, the leap of faith, to realize that whatever the universe brings to us is for us. And if we would learn to trust our inner voice, that inner guidance, our intuition, which will never steer us wrong, we would know that we will always end up where we are supposed to be. The times in my life where I have made things really more difficult for myself, that has been when I've chosen to ignore that inner voice. That's when I usually make things more complicated, is when I have chosen not to listen to what I know is my truth. And I choose instead to be afraid to speak my truth. I just go with the flow and I do what I think other people want me to do. That's when things start to get complicated and life becomes a struggle. And it's because we're out of alignment. When you're in alignment with your higher self and with what you know to be your truth, life isn't a struggle. Things seem to flow easier. It's when we get to that place where we start to fight everything. Our intuition says, I'd really like to try this job. And we go, I don't know about that though, because what if it doesn't work out? What if I don't like it? What if my family doesn't approve? Then we start to deny our intuition, deny our higher selves. And that's when life becomes a struggle, because you're out of alignment. You're out of alignment with what your soul knows to be true. And some of you may be sitting out there saying, I don't hear my intuition. I don't get any guidance. And it's not that you don't get guidance, it's that you're not listening. You can learn to start getting guidance from your intuition. You just have to practice and work on being able to hear the guidance that you're being given. And part of that is slowing down and actually getting grounded and taking time out to do some meditation or to sit in stillness to listen for the answers that come. Because the problem is we are so busy that we're not slowing down long enough to hear the guidance that we're given. I feel like our guides are standing around us like shouting at us, and we're just like ignoring them, walking on, wandering around aimlessly. They're trying to give us the guidance that we seek. The problem is we're not listening. There are some things you can do to practice your intuition, like to practice hearing it, getting in tune with it. One of the things you can do, again, is taking time, take a deep breath, saying the word yes over and over and over again, and feeling where you feel that in your body. For me, it's like butterflies in my stomach. And then doing the same thing, taking a deep breath, clearing your energy, and saying no all 5 times over and over, no, no, no. Where do you feel that in your body? And for me, it's like a tightness in my chest. So it's important for you to know what yes or no feels like physically in your body. And then you can ask yes or no questions and see where it comes from. Your intuition will not steer you wrong. You can also just ask for guidance or ask questions. And in the first 3 seconds is your intuition. And usually what comes after that is your ego taking over. And that's where the fear-based thinking comes from. And you have to learn to mind your mind. When you start thinking something negative, it is so easy to go down that rabbit hole and for that negativity to just continue, and it builds momentum. And the longer you think those negative thoughts, the more powerful they become and they begin to manifest. So it's important that you identify the negative thoughts when you're thinking them, and then you say something like, I like to say, rewind, delete, or you can come up with your own thing to cancel it out. and shift your thinking. And one of the ways you can do that is to think of gratitude. Name 5 things you're grateful for right now. You can also think of a pleasant memory and really think very clearly about what it felt like that day. Were there any smells? What other of the senses can you rely on? Like, what did something look like? What did it feel like? Were there sounds? Were there anything? That will distract your mind and bring you back into a place of feeling happy again, which is going to shift your thinking. It is totally normal to start thinking negative things. As I said earlier, the brain is actually wired to think negatively. That's why it's really important to get into some mindfulness practices that help you to shift out of that negative mindset. There are a lot of tools out there that you can use, and you have to actively practice taking yourself out of that negative space and putting yourself in a more positive space. Because as I said, those thoughts are powerful and they start to manifest. So you can either be manifesting a lot of negative things into your life, or you can manifest positive things. The choice is yours, and it's absolutely a choice. If you don't see that, and if you have a hard time with that, I would highly, highly suggest that you work with someone to start shifting your mindset. Because when you start making the shift, everything around you shifts, and not in a bad way. It's amazing how positively things in your life shift and how things can become easier. It really can, and I'm sitting here telling you this because this happened to me. I used to be such a negative person because in my family, that's what we did. We griped and complained about everything. Nothing ever went our way. We'd always say, oh, there could be 2 people in a contest and I wouldn't win. I was that kind of person. And when I learned to stop doing that, stop being negative, stop being critical, to start shifting my words, shifting my thoughts, and paying attention to my thoughts, everything shifted. Everything shifted. My life began to change and open up in amazing ways. So I can do it. You can do it too. I mean, we're talking generations of negativity here that I've canceled out. And when I started working on myself, people around me wanted to know, what are you doing? How can I do this too? So it's amazing. But you've got to let go of the fear of change. Let go of the fear of change and of speaking your truth and living authentically. Because once you decide that you're going to live your life for yourself and that you're going to live authentically, you will be amazed at how much better things get. And if you need help learning how to do this, learning how to shift, and I needed help, I wasn't able to do it on my own. It took me years working with counselors and coaches and taking online courses. I've learned so much. And I now, in turn, want to turn around and help others do exactly the same thing with less time and less money. And I love doing it. I absolutely love seeing transformation in people for the better. So if you want to work with me, there are so many ways you can. You can work with me one-on-one, and we can absolutely get to the heart of where your negative beliefs are and start learning how to shift them. And I can give you the tools you need to make positive changes in your life every single day that will last you for a lifetime. You can work with me one-on-one on my 30-day Purpose Intensive, which is a 30-day coaching program. And I also do payment plans for that. If you're interested in finding out more about that, you can go to my website, melissaoatman.com. You can also book a free discovery call with me if you're ready to make that shift and you want to know how and how I can best serve you and help you. Give me a call. I have so many programs. We can see which would be the best fit for you. The call is free. I love people reaching out and talking to me. It's one of my favorite things to do is just to talk to my listeners and followers, and it's so much fun. And I love helping people, so please don't hesitate to reach out. We can book a Zoom call, and we'll jump on and see what you're hoping to work on and how I can best serve you. So don't hesitate to book your free discovery call. You can do it straight from my homepage on my website, melissaoatman.com. Also, I have lots of online programs. I have my 10-day intensive self-love course, which is only $20. And in it, I teach you how to start shifting your beliefs about yourself. It's an amazing course. I'm very proud of it. And people who have taken it said they love it and it has helped. So go check that out. I also have my Love Your Life course, which is 23 online daily lessons that teach you things like who the archangels are and how to work with them, meditation, why it's important, and I give you some free ones, tapping, what is it, how can it help you release old emotional wounding, how you can do it, and I give you some free ones. I also teach you what healthy boundaries are, how to change a few habits every day to live a healthier life. You can go check that out. That's on my website also. It's, again, Love Your Life. And in it, not only do you get the 23 daily lessons, but you also get 2 one-on-one sessions with me. So you can go check that out. Check out everything that I offer. You can also join our membership, the Awaken Your Magic, which you can try right now for just $10. You'll have access to the old master classes we've already done. Plus, you can join us on our live master class and our group card reading. It's so much fun. I am enjoying it so much, and others who are in it have been saying that they really enjoy it as well. So check it out. There's so many ways that you can shift your life, and it doesn't really take a lot of time and effort. It's just concentrated effort every day, a little bit of time, but it makes a huge difference. And you are worth the investment. You really are. You didn't come here to be broke, to be sad, to live a life of just okay. You came here to be happy, abundant, and joyful. So if you're not that, you need to work on changing things so that you are, because you deserve to be. All right, guys. Well, I wanted to pull a card for you today. So the card I pulled is from the Heart Thoughts deck by Louise Hay. And the first card I pulled is My Love is Limitless. The more love I allow to flow out of me, the more there is within me and the more I receive. So this is talking about if you want to give love, you also have to give love, which I love that. That is so true. The second card that is also from the same deck is I am open and receptive. I believe in myself. I say affirmations that reflect what I really deserve. I love that, and affirmations are such an important part of healing and shifting your thoughts about yourself, about money, about love, about all of the things. So affirmations I highly recommend doing every day. Well, I hope that you guys are living your absolute best lives, but if you are not, please consider working with me. Don't stay stuck. You deserve so much happiness. All right, I want to thank you for listening today, for joining me, for following me, for all of the positive reviews you leave for me. I thank you so much. I really, truly appreciate each and every one of you. If you like this podcast and you haven't already, please subscribe. Please leave a positive review from wherever you're listening, and please share this podcast with anyone you think might enjoy it. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media. I go live Mondays at 6:30 Central Time, where I do a free card reading on my Facebook group. And if you show up for the live, I'll pull a card especially for you. If you want to work with me, you can go to my website, melissaoatman.com. There you'll see all the services I offer, and you can purchase them directly from the website. To schedule your session, just reach out and contact me. I do my own scheduling so you can get the best time available for you. All right, guys, I hope you have a beautiful day from wherever you're listening. As always, I am sending you so much love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.